Hola, how are you?
Estoy bien, ¿y tú?
Mm, mm-hmm.
Sí.
No, how are you?
Oh my gosh, not as good as you.
I know. I'm coming from you from the retreat sun deck on the Celebrity Beyond. We are docked in Cadiz, Spain. It's a beautiful afternoon. I'm in a long sleeve and shorts. It is just the perfect
Low key,
day.
that is one of my favorite vibes. If I can wear a long sleeve shirt and shorts, like a sweater or sweatshirt and shorts, I like love that.
So that's been the weather every day, right? So every day it has been fairly cool in the morning, but the sun has come out and it's gotten a little warm. Sometimes I'll take off the pullover, the jacket, and just rock the t-shirt. But the weather has been just amazing. I need to
That's my
get back
favorite
to
kind of
Europe more in the
weather.
spring.
I have been telling you that now since 2019. I'm just gonna put it out there. Since I went in
Yeah, I mean,
2019 for the first time. I love
yeah.
that
Well, I
time of
mean,
year.
it's nice, right? Because I've been to Europe a bunch, but it's always been in the summer and the fall. And I really think there's something really nice about the spring, right? I mean, now, do I miss some of the pool days and laying out? I do, right? I'm not saying I should ever replace a summer trip to
Oh
Europe.
yeah.
I think I want to add another trip
Well,
to Europe.
I think too, it's also depending on what you're wanting to get out of Europe. Like if you are
Right.
somebody that's truly trying to explore Europe, land and cruise in the springtime is a great way to do it because those sailings are a little cheaper, typically speaking. The ones like around early May. Wise, it's a cheaper time in April, typically speaking. I mean, you're on a maiden voyage, which is a little different story. But I mean, they're not as expensive as
That's
like
true.
your July and August
Oh
sailing
no!
are
So
seem
the
expensive.
sailing immediately after this is considerably less expensive. So I mean, going during shoulder season is definitely a way to save money.
Absolutely. But if you're looking to kind of get that Mykonos beach party kind of vibe, you're going to be cruising in the summer. It
Oh
depends.
yeah, I would not go to Mykonos in late April and May. I wouldn't go. I would save that for your
Not the same
summer.
vibe.
Not the same vibe, right? Because I mean, it's chilly. Look, I'm on the retreat sun deck, and there is like no one around me, right? It's fairly empty. Because yes, there's a few people on the other side, but it's a little too cool to just lay out. People that are laying out are in blanket. There's blankets everywhere.
Absolutely. So I'm going to do a quick little recap here, guys. Remember, if you are watching on Facebook instead of our YouTube channel, Today in Travel, make sure you put a little comment with your or a little dash with your name so we know who's talking. Because somebody said their first visit to Paris was in springtime and all the blossoms were out. So make sure you know that. And that today's show is going to be a little different since Jason is in Europe and on an inaugural sailing. I mean, there wasn't a whole lot of travel news this week other than Spirit denying JetBlue was about about it. It's Emmy. Hey, Emmy. Great connection for Jason.
Hey,
Yep, he's
Emmy.
got a good connection. So, Jason, do you want to kick off our intros?
Yeah, so guys, it is that time of week. We're an hour late. Sorry, I was walking around Spain, so thank you for indulging me for being 1 hour late. I am Jason Poole. I'm a travel advisor with Cruise Planners and American Express travel representative. I love all things cruises. I'm on a cruise right now, coming from you on the inaugural sailing of the Celebrity Beyond. I've been talking a lot about my Today in Travel co-host who knows everything about the hotel world, land hacks, credit card hacks. Miss Haley, how are you this morning?
Good morning, everybody. My name is Haley. I am the owner of Hospitality with a Flair, which is a hotel sales support company. Been in hotels for 15 years. Love to cruise, Disney, Europe, you name it. Just like Mr. Poole over
Uh,
here, especially the Disney part.
I love Disney. Love it. Love it. Love it. So yeah, so as Haley said earlier, I am on the inaugural sailing of the Celebrity Beyond. So guys, this is not what I originally intended to do in the spring. I don't know if you remember, but I was originally booked on a Baltics cruise from Copenhagen. Because of the situation with Russia and the Ukraine. All the cruises in the Baltics got canceled for spring. There's some people on board they think they're going in like June or July, and I'm like, good luck,
Have fun
good
with
luck,
that.
good luck. So I kind of about a month ago was looking around like, what do I want to do? Like, I wanted to do a trip, but I kind of wanted something. I was so looking forward to the Baltics, but it was like new ports. And so I was looking at the Celebrity Beyond inaugural, and I thought, oh my gosh, this is amazing because it was a bunch of new places I had never been. It was an inaugural sailing, right? The first sailing of the Celebrity Beyond. So I was like, I just think it just makes total sense to check out Celebrity's new ship, to check out some of the ports for the first time. And I am having a wonderful, wonderful time on holiday in Europe.
I love that on holidays. So let's go through and rank the ports that you've done so far because you've done some newbies. You finally got to step foot in France finally.
Finally, so I left from Southampton. We went to Bilbao, Spain. We went to La Rochelle, France, Lisbon, Portugal, and today we're in Cadiz, Spain. All the ports. That's all the
Yeah.
ports. So ranking them, I would probably have to say, Bill. Gosh, Bilbao might be my favorite,
Okay.
just because like, it had a Guggenheim, right? Like that's amazing. Like I got to get tapas and go to Spain and the Guggenheim. I mean, there's only 5 Guggenheims in the world. They're all in major cities, plus that one random city in Spain. Like, how random is that?
It's
So
very
I would.
random. And you got
It's
cheesecake.
very. I got cheesecake, had an amazing meal, but I mean, but look, La Rochelle, France would. I mean, the actual city I might have liked the La Rochelle maybe more than Bilbao, but Bilbao at the Guggenheim was amazing. So I'd probably say Bilbao was 1. La Rochelle was 2. I think this Cadiz in Spain where I am now was again a close number 3. It was beautiful. Absolutely loved it. Oh, did I lose you, Haley? You look a little
Nope.
frozen. No, you're good. That was me. That was me. So Cadiz, beautiful, loved it. I think I'd have to put Lisbon last.
And
Uh,
you and I were talking about this. So you guys know that Jason and I talk nonstop about travel. I mean, it's you think we'd run out of something to talk about, but we don't. And
no,
Lisbon has been like Portugal has been hot on a lot of travel lists lately. Like huge, huge. So I was super excited to see Jason go to Lisbon. And he's like, it really wasn't my favorite.
don't get me wrong. It's first world problems, right? I think so. Lisbon reminded me a lot of a city like Rome. So just older, it's a little more run down. The government hasn't kept it as clean as like the Spanish port or the French port I went to. There's kind of graffiti a lot of places. It wasn't at a bad time in Lisbon. I mean, I had a great afternoon, met up with some people. We had some great wine. We saw some nice stuff. I'm not saying Lisbon is a no, don't go. But look, you asked me to rank them. A port had to be last on the list.
Yeah.
and it just it made it it isn't a place that I think I'm just dying to go back. um and everyone on board kind of agrees, right? I think Lisbon is one of those cities that's it's kind of like a Rome, where it's a big name, right? And
Yeah.
everybody's like, Rome, Lisbon. But when you actually dig in, you realize there's far better places in Europe than than a Lisbon, in my opinion.
Yeah. And I think what's kind of funny with it being kind of run down, like you're saying, there's almost not necessarily a reason for that. I'm not saying there isn't rich history in Lisbon, but like, Rome, you kind of look at it like they have things that are thousands of years old. So there's
Hmm.
so many
Hmm.
rules about what you can move, what you can do, and
Hmm.
whatnot. Um, so that is a little like surprising. And we kind of talked about this with Athens too. I mean, you
Absolutely.
mentioned some of the
Absolutely.
things in Athens as well. But that's the beauty of Europe. There's a ton of different things to do. Hopefully I'm doing Germany in November. So fingers crossed. But, like you said, somebody had to be at the bottom of the list. And just because it's at the bottom of somebody's list doesn't mean it's not the top of somebody else's. There might be something there that speaks.
Oh,
It's all on preference.
it's all on preference. So we still have Malaga, Majorca, and we're ending in Barcelona. I unfortunately have to immediately fly home from Barcelona, but I'm going back in the summer, for a
I'm a
couple
little
days
mad you
of the
can't go
summer.
to that gin bar when you get to Barcelona. I'm
I
a
will in
little
the summer. I will this summer.
Yeah,
I
I
will
know.
this summer.
It
I
breaks my heart a little bit because when I was in Barcelona, I text Jason like, "You need to come here. Like, it's a gin bar. Like,
I'm,
it's a
I'm
total
I mean, my
Jason."
my flight to the States is until noon. Maybe I have time to, but I'll have so much luggage. I'll have so much luggage. So let's talk a little bit about the Celebrity Beyond. So this
Okay.
is
So
the
how different is
the
it? That's what we need to know is how different is it?
so there are some differences, right? So there is a new specialty restaurant on board called La Voyage. It is a top fancy restaurant. It only holds, I think, 40 people can only be in there at one time.
Okay.
Um, they're making it like you enter in through one door, you exit through another. They don't want people entering and exiting together. They want it to be it is like a 3 hour meal. I'm going Friday night, so review, stand by. But I am really excited to try. So that's a new restaurant on board. The ship is one deck higher
Okay.
because the retreats on deck where I am on the Beyond is two decks. So
How do
on
you feel about that in comparison to the other two? Do you think
it's it's big. The retreats on deck on the Beyond is massive, and the ship is also longer than the Edge and the Apex. It's pretty obvious at the pool. You can definitely notice where it's longer, but that allowed them to make the retreat also a little longer as well. So the two decks in the retreat are really nice. Luminae, the retreat restaurant, is a good amount larger. So I mean, look, there's 21 more suites. So Edge and Apex have 170 something, and this ship has 190 something suites. So they added more suites, and because of that, you have to make the retreat bigger.
Well, I feel like celebrity, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, is tending to, we're seeing a lot of brands starting to shift their focus. Norwegian getting away from short sailings. Royal adding more
Uh
options
huh.
for those 3-4 night with Oasis class ships. Everybody's kind
Hmm.
of taking in, and I feel like where celebrity is planting their flag is their suite experience because I've yet to find really anything. I mean, even compared to the Haven and Norwegian, there's nothing that compares to it. They are planting their
No.
flag
So
in
I
that
mean,
experience.
no, they are. So I mean, celebrities only doubling down the retreat. But look, if you're not in the retreat on celebrity, look, after dinner, well, before dinner when I'm at cocktail hours in the martini bar, I'm not in the retreat. You know,
It's
after
still a great
dinner,
time. 100%.
it's still a great time, right? But if you are in the retreat, you do tend to spend. Like I actually walked through the main pool area earlier today, and I was like, I have not walked through this. Yeah, like I have not gotten a drink at the magic carpet yet. I mean, because I'm always at the retreat Sunday. And it's cool because since it is almost a ship and a ship experience, you meet people, you make friends, right? But like with the same people are always in the lounge, right? They're always they're always at the sun deck. So it's almost as if there are only a couple hundred of us on a ship, and we feel like we're just kind of on the ship, just a few hundred of us in the retreat. So it's amazing. Look, if you can't afford, if the retreat's out of a price range, you would still have an amazing time in the Beyond. They fix some of the problems with Edge and Apex. The Martini Bar is laid out much better on the ship. So
Okay.
they fix some of that problem. Much more seating, a larger Martini Bar. So they look. It's like Oasis class, Oasis and Allure are pretty much identical. Well, when they built it, the Oasis now had the upgrades, but when they built it, Oasis and Allure are pretty identical, right? But then because you order them 2 ships at a time. But Harmonies, we're trying to get some changes. Symphonies, where I got some bigger changes, right? Think of the Voyager class, same thing, right?
Yeah.
Gen 1
You're trying
Voyager,
to
Gen
see
2 Voyager.
what works, what doesn't work. So if you guys think about it, by the time you found out what didn't work on Edge, Apex was almost done.
Apex already was done. Yeah.
You can't fix that. So you kind of get that Gen 2. And I mean, Celebrity just does a great job. There's a reason I'm looking at it for my company trip.
They do
It's just a great
such a great
all-around
job.
product. Super excited about that. If there's one thing you could change about the Beyond, what would it be?
So on the other classes of ships, the Martini Bar is I would say during like happy hour, cocktail hour, is a bit of a vibe. A DJ's playing, some house music. It's a bit of a party, even if you're done with dinner a little early. This from when you've done celebrity cruises. You go to the Martini Bar and it's a bit of vibe, right? On this ship, and actually all 3 of the Edge class ships, the Martini Bar is almost more of a grand foyer of a luxury hotel. And because of that, there are restaurants around it. La Voyage opens up into the Grand Plaza. The Fine Cut Steakhouse opens into the
Yeah.
plaza. So because of that, it's often a little bit more subdued music. Piano player, a vocalist, light songs. So I sometimes miss a little bit of that DJ house music vibe that we tend to get on Solstice class and Millennium class. So that would be a change. I mean, I mean, and that's a minor issue, right? I mean, that's
So here's the real question, though. You obviously love Celebrity, and you've
I do.
shocked people in the past with when you tell them what your favorite class of ship is.
I mean, so I still love Solstice class, right? I still really, really. So, and here's why. Okay, here's why. I love Solstice class for like the Martini Bar. But since I'm starting to really only sail on the retreat, my view of that is starting to change.
Okay.
Like when we do our group cruise on the Solstice, yes, it has a retreat, and that it has a lounge, it has a luminae. We're gonna get a personal retreat
Yeah,
host, a butler,
it's what I had on the reflection.
right? But it doesn't have like I'm gonna have some videos going up, tours of the retreat. I mean, it's hard to compare. Like, it's hard to compare the retreat sun deck experience if you're in a hot weather climate. Look, in Alaska, we would it's like here. Like, I don't really use the sun deck that much here, even though it's stunning. I mean, that's where I am right now. So I still like Solstice class. Ships like the Silhouette at the Equinox have gone through a dry dock. They've got their retreat sun deck. So I'm really anxious to get on Solstice class with the dry dock.
Okay. All right. I like it. Any closing remarks, because we don't want to take up all your cruise vacation here?
No, I'm just glad we got to come in late, check in, say hello. Sorry to talk a lot about other new stuff. There wasn't a ton.
Yeah, really.
There wasn't a ton going on.
Blues offer getting shot down by Spirit.
Right now, I will say there was an interesting development I've noticed on here, Haley, and I wish you were here. Every person on this cruise is a One World fan. Every person.
Okay,
Every
you need to hatch this out.
Yeah, so sorry, my leg was falling asleep. I had to reset myself on the chair. So every person on the ship. Now, remember, London is a one world city between British Airways. Like, London is a one world. But even all the Americans here are all AA people. So I do wish you were here for a little bit of Delta Sky Team love. But yeah, so other than that, that's my only complaint about the people on board. They're all American people.
We all have our faults, Jason.
Hey, you know what though? I met this wonderful woman last night, and she was like, I know Delta's #1. I'm an old U.S. Airways person. I just kind of got folded in.
I feel like that's all what it is. It's like, especially if you're an American that likes One World, it's because you were a U.S. Airways fan.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I keep telling people I won't hold it against you for being, for being One World. So, but they're giving me crap, right? Because, BA is has true first class.
It is.
They're like, oh, you're flying business? Oh.
Peasant
and business. So I'm really excited. So tonight I need to find out what time we're sailing through the Straits of Gibraltar.
Ooh.
So I'm hoping to get some good pictures of the Rock of Gibraltar. So I've done that before on the Symphony. So it's rare for cruise ships to actually sail through it. You typically stay in the Med, or you stay in the Isles or Northern Europe.
Yeah,
so it's rare.
Not a common experience.
It's not common. So I'm kind of excited to see what time we're going to go do that. So I'll try to get some photos for that. And then, I still can't believe we've got 2 more port days and a sea day. I'm telling you, Haley, this 10-day is like the perfect amount of time. I love it.
I feel like you haven't been gone I feel like you haven't been gone this long, but I felt like I was in Hawaii forever.
So today's been the first day that I feel like I've been gone for a while. Go back home, we're trying to be like, when are you coming back? I feel like you've been gone for a while. So today's kind of been the first day that I'm like, okay, I do feel like I've been gone for a hot minute.
But see, I think it's been easier to talk to you because, like, when I was behind you, that was more difficult.
Right.
Than, like, in ahead. Europe is just easy. It's easy.
It is easier. It is easier.
Well, enjoy the rest of your cruise, and
thank you.
We will chat next week.
All right. Well, guys, I've been posting lots of stuff on my Instagram and on Facebook, so make sure to follow me there. Lots of photos and more Spanish ports coming.
Sounds great. We'll talk to you later.
Bye, guys.
Bye.